From August of 2004 to January of 2006, I served aboard USS Denver, an amphibious transport dock, or LPD. And this video we are watching is of my beloved ship, which kept me and a lot of other people alive for months on end, meeting her ultimate fate at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. This happened 26th of July, 2022, during the Rim of the Pacific exercise. And what you're seeing here is a bunch of footage that the Navy released to show the amount of firepower it would take to sink a ship of this size. The ship was a total of 600 feet long with, I believe, a 70-foot beam, or maybe a 90-foot beam. She was a large ship. But what you're seeing here are rounds from various aircraft hitting. Now, that mount that you see on the port side, just forward of the bridge, that's where the close-in weapon system was mounted. And our fire controlman actually gave the weapon systems names. That one there was called Ethel. And there was another one, starboard side, abaft the stacks, abaft the superstructure, just forward of the flight deck. And that weapon was called Bethula. Now, I'm not a fire control technician. I don't have that background. But these have been somewhat finicky systems, especially when you're operating complex electronic systems in seawater. And so I think that's why the fire controlman decided to give them old lady names like Ethel and Bethula. Now, what you're seeing there, what it looks like, are Hellfire missiles being fired by helicopters at the ship. And they're just hitting. Hellfires aren't really large missiles, but they can definitely pack a lot of punch for their size. So they really are a type of weapon system that hits way above their weight class, if you'll use sports analogies there. Now, typically what happens in these sink X's or sinking exercises is that the ship will get heavily damaged by such weapons as Hellfires, lots of bullets, 5-inch rounds coming from the surface combatant ships, the destroyers and the cruisers, those kinds of ships. And because RIMPAC is a multinational exercise, they also have frigates in our partner navies that also get to play and shoot ordnance at these ships. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't sink outright, one of our submarines will typically sink it with one or two Mark 48 advanced capability torpedoes, or ADCAPs. Now, it's not really fair to assess the ability of a ship class to be able to withstand a battle, because first, this is one ship that's being shot at by a bunch of other ships from multiple countries and submarines as well, and aircraft. There's also not a single person on that ship as it's being shot at. Although when these sink X's happen, every single watertight door is closed, and that's what we would call material condition zebra, the highest condition where everything is shut to maximize watertight integrity. Because naval ships, unlike cruise ships or ferries or cargo ships, are very heavily compartmentalized. So it takes a lot to actually make a ship sink. So that does say a lot about naval architecture, and when it comes to designing warships, that it would take that much. You could certainly sink even the largest cruise liner, largest cruise ship with a lot less damage than this. So these ships go down hard. These are also useful for the engineers and naval architects who are going to design our next generations of warships, because they can learn a lot of lessons by analyzing just how much damage it takes to send one of our legacy ships to the bottom, and then take those lessons and make future classes of ships even more survivable. But yeah, you're seeing right now what looks like naval artillery. So that looks like 5-inch rounds going in. And I mean, they'll poke a hole, and they may even have explosives inside those shells. But it's going to take a lot more than that to send one of our naval ships to the bottom. Now, this ship was really old. When I got to the ship, I got there in 2004. The ship had been laid down 4 decades earlier and was commissioned in 1968. I was born in 1979, so this ship was 11 years older than me, basically. And there she goes. Thing with amphibious ships is that they have those large whale decks in the back. So if they're going down by the stern, and the last thing you're going to see is the bow. And so, as you saw, the last that you saw of the mighty Denver, my old ship, USS Denver, LPD-9, commissioned in December of 1968, decommissioned, I believe, in 2014, maybe. I'll have to check the naval vessel register and double check that. But she was in service for a long time, and she gave a lot of good service, went on lots of deployments, had a lot of upgrades and modifications over the years. But watching a ship that you served on being committed to the Davy Jones locker, as we call it, i.e. being sunk, is humbling. And I'm glad that a ship that I served on was used to conduct meaningful experimentation and meaningful exercise practice and proficiency exercises and such. A lot more glamorous, I believe, than looking at a ship getting scrapped in Brownsville, Texas, which is where U.S. Navy ships are sent to be cut up for scrap if they aren't sunk. So I just thought that was really cool, and just wanted to share that with you. Again, I'm Eric. Thank you for joining the DD-214, and again, Godspeed, open waters, and huzzah, shipmates. Bye now.